Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Blair County Beat. I'm your host, Ann Merritts. This week's guest is Angela Toroian, a photographer and owner of AT Photography, LLC, located in the Brett Central Court Building in downtown Altoona. I first met Angela in 2016 when we were both working for the same company in Duncansville. Since I've known her, she has gone from taking employee headshots to doing all-inclusive photo shoots for engagements, weddings, mothers-to-be, newborns and their parents, holidays, and photo shoots that are just for fun, such as the one she did of me in 2023 for the dating apps. She is, if anything, a versatile photographer, and my goal is to showcase the depth of her knowledge and skills for this interview. Angela is truly talented at what she does, so I hope you'll enjoy getting to know her during the next 30 minutes or so. Let's get started. All right, Ange, first question. What first inspired you to become a photographer?
So growing up as a teenager, I had a digital camera. The old school digital cameras I took everywhere with me. And I started taking pictures of my friends in my bedroom, just silly little photos, and I realized I really had an eye for this. Mm-hmm. I'm a very visual person versus like reading words. So after high school, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. All of my friends were going off to college, and I knew that I wanted to do something with photography. So I went to IUP, and I took all of their photography classes, and then I got a digital imagery certificate through the university. So I have the credentials to back up my work. But I think what inspired me is just taking pictures of my friends and just experiencing like the connections you have with people and coming up with like a story to tell as you take the pictures.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So how did you develop your style over time? Because I know, like, looking at some of your photos, they're all kind of like, depending on the photo shoot, it's and the subject, they're a little different. Like, you use different
So some photographers have certain styles. Some photographers are like dark and grungy and they like the dark look, and then some photographers are strictly light and airy. And I'm trying to figure out where do I really, where am I in that realm? But I tend to just cater towards the client. So I'll ask them, do you have any idea whether you want to do like darker or lighter? Like, for example, if I'm doing a wedding around Halloween and they like the spooky vibes, I can go the dark route. Or right now when it's springtime, I just had a meeting with a bride yesterday and I was like, what are your expectations of me in terms of like the colors and stuff? And she wanted to make sure there was like greenery and flowers. So I'm definitely going to go like the light and airy vibe. But yeah, so I'm kind of like the jack of all trades. Even whenever we work together, I kind of just do a little bit of everything. I dibble dabble into different filters and whatnot. It just kind of depends on my mood and the season. Yeah.
Okay. My next question you may have answered a little bit, but what types of photography do you specialize in and why?
I specialize in portrait photography, like lifestyle, and I like to do brand shoots. And then when I think portrait, I think, weddings, engagement, family portraits, like the things that you spoke about at the beginning. And I do those type of photos because I like to connect with people. I like the whole thing of photography. Some photographers, maybe just strictly like to take the pictures and that's it. But I like connecting with people. I like the editing process and the posting process. I'm very much into social media, and I always have been since being a teenager. So being able to post my work on social media is a big thing. But yeah, just making the connections and, having the client, afterwards, they might leave the photo shoot feeling a little bit unsure, but I reassure them that, the outcome of this shoot that we just did is going to be phenomenal. Yeah. Because I really do turn it into like magic, honestly.
You do.
Yeah.
I know for sure. Firsthand.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through your creative process from concept to final image? Like, what's your thought process when you're doing it?
So I struggle with time management, like with having a family and, am I a morning person? Am I a night person? But like my creative process is, I definitely want to get to know the client.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't get to know them until last minute, but at some point I definitely want to speak to them and understand what they're looking for. Um, I'm blanking. Oh my gosh.
That's okay.
Repeat the question again.
It was how can you walk me through your creative process from concept to final image?
Oh, okay. So basically, I figure out the emotions of that person and what they're all about. Sometimes they don't have any idea what they want to do. They just need pictures done. So I will
Hmm.
sit down with them and have a questionnaire
Yeah.
and just try to feel them out.
Okay.
Creative process, I use a lot of like Adobe products, so like Photoshop and Lightroom.
Yeah.
And with photographers, um, sometimes we're not creative 365. Sometimes you have a season of creativity, and then other times you're like, I need a break.
Yeah.
But I try to be consistent and just read the client, and if they don't know what they want to do, I will give them options
Okay.
um, and how I see a vision coming about, and just kind of go from there.
Okay. Um, how do you prepare for a shoot, especially when working with new clients or locations?
So after doing photography for so many years, first you start taking pictures of people that you know, or
Hmm.
somebody that knows so and so. But now I'm getting people who I don't know at all.
Okay.
So I really try to get to know that person and try to make them feel comfortable. Um, yeah.
Okay. How do you approach storytelling through your photography? Because you're very good at that.
Yeah. So with storytelling, it's kind of like hard to describe. Um, there's like a difference between me actively taking the pictures at a shoot versus going home, putting my camera card in my computer and looking at the images.
Hmm.
Um, so my brain just starts going. Like once I actually get them up on the computer and I can really see what I'm working with, then I just kind of like lay it out, and I'll go through all the pictures. Say I take like 500 pictures at a photo shoot, and there's going to be that 25 images right there that are just like golden, and you just know that when you see that photo that like that's the one, and that's when I start to get chills, and like that you're going to have a good outcome from that photo shoot.
What camera gear and editing software do you rely on the most and why?
So I shoot with Canon. Um, that was my first camera out of college, and I kind of just stuck with Canon because that's what I was comfortable with. When I had a digital camera back in high school, it was Nikon. Um,
Hmm.
Currently, I also work for another photography team, and they do Nikon. So the mechanics between Canon and Nikon are the opposite. Like what's right is left, and what's zoom isn't zoom. So it's like completely opposite. But I'm definitely managing that. But so I use Canon, not for any particular reason. There are a couple different brands, like Sony's a good one as well.
Okay.
So Canon for that, and then like I said before, I use Lightroom. And then I also use Photoshop. I do a lot of my work in Photoshop. I wasn't using flashes for a long time, but I would make it look like I was using flashes because I was using overlays and whatnot in Photoshop. So Photoshop, Lightroom, and shoot with Canon.
So what's the difference between Photoshop and Lightroom? Exactly.
For me, I use Lightroom to I download presets, and presets are different filters and different colors. So I will throw a filter on the picture and then take it into Photoshop. And if I need to tweak somebody's skin color, or smooth out their skin, or remove something from the background, AI is huge right now.
Yeah.
The AI generative fill, which
Yeah.
I tell people, say we're at a location that's very windy and their hair's everywhere. I'll
Yeah.
just be like, do not worry about any hair that's blowing anywhere, because it's almost as simple as circling it with the mouse and typing in remove hair and add, X, Y, and Z. Like you can really manipulate these photos with AI, which
That's
has
amazing.
made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So how do you handle challenging lighting conditions or unexpected changes during a shoot?
So I like to shoot in the evening to avoid lights and sun,
Yeah.
but there are some times where you're shooting a wedding and you're outside and it's 3 o'clock and the sun is blazing.
Yeah.
I really try to find shade, any
Okay.
kind of shade. Um, Throw a bride and groom under a tree or beside a barn that has some shade. But if I am working in sunlight, I just try to have my ISO down as low as I can and work with a dark photo so that when I
Hmm.
do put it on Lightroom and Photoshop that I can brighten it up more
Okay.
versus, taking a really sunny picture. I try to make it dark as I take it and then brighten it up on the computer.
Okay. So what role, I kind of know this already, but what role does post-processing play in your work? Because you're very good with Photoshop and fixing things.
Yeah. So you're asking what my process is? Um, so me and Photoshop are like this.
Mm.
And I don't want to overdo it though, because I want to make sure that the photo's mine and
Yeah.
I don't go in and like make somebody's skin look fake or just over filter and overuse it. So, and that's another thing I'm kind of battling with right now is I'm spending a lot of time tweaking these photos, like almost too long.
Yeah.
So my process is, I don't know, I kind of just pick the best photos, manipulate them as you know, my best creative ability. And whenever I present the photos to the client, what I like to do, and I don't know if a lot of photographers do this, but I will give them a private online gallery link and I'll say,
Right.
hey, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about these photos. And if anything needs fixed, please tell me. And I'll
Hmm.
tell my clients at a shoot, like if it's even the littlest thing that you want fixed on a picture, please just let me know and I can fix it for you. Because I want to make sure that, I'm consistent and my quality is great for them at the end of the day because I want them to be reoccurring, clients.
Right.
Yeah, which I have a lot of.
Like me.
Yeah, like you.
How do you work with clients to understand their, and capture their vision?
So, say I get somebody that I don't know. I will honestly look them up on social media and try to find them and
Oh,
figure out like, you can kind of understand somebody's personality when you're looking them up on social media. If
yeah.
if they're family oriented, do they take pictures of themselves? Are they kind of private? Are they shy? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So how I go about is I kind of look them up, see what I can, dig into them from like my point of view. Um, I also, when I meet them in person, a lot of the times they have no idea what to do. They're like, I'm here, I'm showing up, just pose me, tell me what to do. And I'm like,
Yeah.
say no more. So I tell my clients, hey, I have these ideas on my phone. Here's a couple examples of these poses I want to do.
Hmm.
If you don't like any of these poses and they're not your thing, I will not get offended. We'll just move on to the next one. So I kind of feel people out depending on, what pictures I show them to get an idea of like what I want to do and what they're comfortable doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. So how do you balance creativity with the business side of photography?
So like I said before, creativity for me is sometimes seasonal. Like today, it's a dreary, cold day.
Yeah.
I'm not that inspired, but
Right.
come a sunny day, and I could have like a new idea. Um, so creativity with my business, I try to just be consistent and be totally transparent with all of my clients.
Hmm.
And I love to hear from my clients. I'll tell them before we leave a shoot, hey, if there's anything that's on top of your mind right now that that you're thinking that you want to do right now, like during the shoot, like please tell me because I get inspired by my clients. I love when a
Oh,
client's like, hey, I really want to, you know, do these type of photos, and then I get super excited because I'm like they kind of have an idea what they want to do, which
uh-huh.
means that they're kind of excited about it, which makes me excited about it.
Yeah.
So my creativity is based off of my own skills, but also I'm also inspired by the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you feel the photography industry has changed since you started working?
So when I started photography in 2012, it was digital. I never got to experience with film, which I heard is great, even though it takes a while for them to be developed. But what's changed is social media. People want pictures now.
Yeah.
They want organic photos, and which has kind of made it a little bit easier because a lot of candid photography is in right now. Candid photos, maybe your subject's not in complete focus. Maybe they're a little bit blurry, and you get the aesthetics of the photo, and just like little tidbits, like if I'm like, for example, if I'm doing a wedding, and I'm going to take pictures of like a half-eaten cake and like the fork and, different kind of things that maybe doesn't involve an actual portrait of somebody's face. I like to use those different kind of things. A lot of people like those candid moments, because like every little detail counts. So, but yeah, social media, people want their pictures now.
Yep.
And yeah, so you have to deliver. And I make sure that I have a transparent time frame for every single client.
Cool. What advice would you give to someone looking to enter the photography industry today?
I would say be patient and just be consistent. I mean, the more you shoot, the better you're going to be. Some people like to watch YouTube videos to learn.
Yeah.
People a couple years ago would be like, hey, I'm really having trouble with my camera. Can you help me out? And I wouldn't be confident about 4 years ago to like teach somebody how to, use like an f-stop and the aperture and all that stuff. But now I feel like fully confident that like I would be able to help somebody with that. So I would just say, just be consistent and, give yourself some grace, because photography is like a whole journey. It's not just taking the photo and calling it a day. It's the whole process, connecting with the person, taking the photo, the post-production. It's a whole thing. So I would just say, keep at it. It's as easy as getting on TikTok and typing in, what do I need to learn for my Canon camera? You could type in exactly what the camera is. It's very easy to figure out how to use different equipment nowadays than it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. What is your favorite project or photo you've taken, and what makes it so special to you?
So I like to do little cutesy shoots with my friends. And I have this friend who is gorgeous and funny and fantastic. And I was like, hey, I kind of want to do like a different kind of like, I wanted to go to the laundromat down the street in Hollidaysburg. And she's very much into fashion. And I'm inspired by her with fashion. So she got all dressed up and we took pictures as if she was like doing laundry, and we put like little rollers in her hair, and we had the lip gloss and the lipstick, and she just started posing for me, and we just like made it a whole thing. So I really like to just do, like test out different things with my friends. I'll just pick somebody and I'll be like, hey, I'll text somebody and say, maybe we should go, to an ice cream shop and take pictures at an ice cream parlor. What do you think? Yeah. And just kind of experiment like that. But that's one of my favorite shoots, was the laundromat photo shoot. Those photos. Yeah, it was I put like a vintage feel on it, like a retro kind of grainy type vibe on it. It was really cool. And that's one of my main pictures whenever you walk into my studio. It's that picture right there when you walk in.
So speaking of your studio, can you tell us more about it and how it's set up?
My studio is located at the Brett Central Court Building. It's right across the street from the post office in Altoona. I'm on the 3rd floor. I have a 5-room studio. Doing photography, like I said, since 2012, I was able to build up my clientele. So I was able to like actually have a studio and utilize it. So I've been there for almost a year. I'm about to celebrate my 1-year anniversary of being there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, that allows me to work inside during cold months. Blair County, from November to like end of March, you really don't have much to work with.
Right.
And with my studio, I just have like endless ideas, to the point where I'm wondering, like, do I have time? Like, my brain just keeps going because I like want to do all of these like visions that I have.
Yeah.
And like, in order to do like these visions, you have to like set it up and then edit it and then put it out on social media and be like, hey, I have this set up, book with me. So yeah, I'm just able to be creative during the winter months, and during the summer, I'll be outside using the natural light. But I won't ever hesitate to take pictures at my studio because I have natural light from all different angles with the 5-room like corner unit that I have. And I love being downtown,
Yes.
part of the community.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic. My grandfather was, he worked at Gables back in the day. So I just feel like my heritage is like downtown. So I just feel grateful just even like being down there. It's great.
It's a great location.
Yeah.
And the studio is beautiful.
Thank you.
But thank you for answering my questions today.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of our interview with Ange, and I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into her profession and the special moments she captures. The next time you're looking for a photographer, I hope you will seriously consider using AT photography for your needs. To learn more about Angela or to book a photo session, follow her on Facebook or go to her website at www.atphotographyllc.com. Also, be sure to watch our YouTube channel at Blair County Beat, as this video will be posted in the next few days. As an FYI, the next interview will take place within the next week or two, so also be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching this episode of Blair County Beat, and I hope to see you next time.